Okay, so what are the following English towns got in common? Hethel in Norfolk, Malvern, Worcestershire, Blackpool, Lancs, Dartford, Kent. Well, they're all home for small, specialist British car manufacturers. And here's another one, Marcos, producers of this new GTS 2 litre. Now Marcos are from Westbury in Wiltshire. They were a company formed in 1959 by Jem Marsh and Frank Costin. Put the names together, Marsh and Costin, you get Marcos. Simple as that. It's not named after Imelda Marcos, the woman who's got not quite as many shoes as Ginny Buckley. No, Marcos is the company from Wiltshire, the company that produced this new vehicle. It's essentially the same as any other Marcos you've seen except for that front end. It's been re-nosed, it's got that 2 litre engine, it's come down in size and it's come down in price. If you want to get on the ladder for this car, for the 135 brake horsepower, non-turbo 2 litre, you're talking about something of the order of £28,000. Talking about the turbo version, slightly more than 30 on the road. Well, I better be a little bit careful with this car. It's the only one in the country. It's just been built this week. The paint is barely dry. This is the 2 litre turbo version, 197 brake horsepower. Should have quite a lot of oomph. If I ever actually get the thing going, it's got one of those awful immobiliser systems where you have to keep prodding the little blipper several times before you can actually turn the ignition key and get the engine to fire up. But one thing worries me more than that at the moment, and that's the fact that the seat on this car can't be moved forwards or backwards. There is no seat adjustment for the base of the seat or the backrest. What you do is electronically adjust the pedals. Can you believe it? There's a little switch underneath the dashboard which brings the pedals forwards or backwards. The problem is I brought the pedals as far forward as I can and I'm still reaching out, I'm stretching actually to floor this clutch pedal, and certainly I need a couple more inches. I'm about 5'10". You can't call that terribly tall, and I think anybody who's maybe 5'6", 5'8" would really struggle in this car with this present arrangement, but that's hopefully something Marcos can explain to us a little bit later on. Chris, I think it's fair to say that this is the only car in existence at the moment. We stole it off you while you were here at Silverstone watching your race. I've got mixed feelings about it. Some of it I love, some of it really annoyed me. Now let me start right from the beginning. I think you're going to have an immediate answer, and that's this question of reaching for the pedals. I was struggling to reach the pedals, but that's because this car was set up for somebody taller.
Yeah, what we've got an electric pedal system that goes up and down, and it moves it about 8 inches. But obviously if we've got a smaller person or a very tall person, we can design the car to suit them. And it basically means a different shaped pedals. So that's it.
Doesn't it, aren't you making things difficult for yourself though? You could get around that problem just simply by having a seat that slides forwards and backwards.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could, but part of this car is the fact that you're in the car and it's a bucket seat. You know, it's just like a race car really, and the only way around it is to do it this way and then have the electrical pedals.
Okay. What about the other little problem we had when we were driving along? I'm not now talking about going over speed humps, although we went over a couple of those as well, very slowly, I hasten to add. But we were going on some roads with some nasty dips and we were bottoming out, presumably hitting the sump guard or something, once or twice. What's the reason for that?
Yeah, there is a hefty sump guard on it. Now, what we can do, we can stiffen up the suspension. Okay, at the moment it's very soft.
If I look a bit disappointed, that's because I am a bit disappointed. Let's not forget we're talking here about a £30,000 car. We've got a lot of forward switch gear, a lot of forward knobs and buttons, and we've got a finish that, all right, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This is a one-off car, but I really would expect a better finish than what we can see in here. Some of the little design features, and I use that term loosely, well, they're really not up to scratch. I'll leave a little thought with you. You can buy a Lotus Elise, probably the best handling small car in the world, for around about £20,000. You can buy a BMW Z3 for about £21,000. You could go up market and buy yourself something like, I don't know, a Mercedes SLK for around £30,000. You could buy yourself the best of the bunch, the Porsche Boxster, for around £34,000. Or you can go for this, the Marcos 2 litre GTS Turbo. £30,000 seems like an awful lot of money to me.